yung if you feel na alanganin ang grades ninyo for the prelim and midterm, you make sure that you improve your grade or grades for the finals. Okay? Kasi isang grading period na lang yan. Wala na akong adjustment na gagawin dyan. Okay? So, in fact, sinabi ko to sa umpisa na hindi ako mag-a-adjust, pero nag-adjust ako ng prelim. Meron akong ginawang adjustment sa midterm. Pero dito sa finals, wala na talaga. As in, wala na. Okay? So, you have your laboratory also to, get your grades from, just in case have you have a failing grade sa lecture. So, bawi kayo sa laboratory ninyo. Kasi wala na talaga akong ibibigay na anong tawag dito? Wala na akong maibibigay pa. So, you work on your finals. Okay? So, reminder lang, your quiz today is set at 9:30. Okay? So just in case I am not done with the discussion, do not open. Okay? Do not open the quiz. Kunyari, 9:30 na, nagbukas, hindi pa ako tapos mag-discuss. I-forgo nyo ang quiz. Mag-a-adjust ako ng oras sa quiz. I just do not want you to open it while I am discussing. Is that clear? Kasi yan ang instruction ko last week doon sa sections A and B. Sabi ko wag bubuksan kahit nag-open na kasi hindi pa ako tapos mag-explain. Ngayon, merong mga nag-take na. So, hindi dapat yan mangyari sa ninyo. Kasi nauuna na sila sa inyo. Nandun na sila sa determination of axis, cylinder axis, and astigmatism, cylinder axis and amount. And I would want na sana makover natin yan until today. Okay? Para pantay. Dahil hindi talaga pantay, nauuna sila ng 3 topics sa inyo. Okay? So just in case mag-overtime ako, malagpasan natin yung quiz, do not open it. I will adjust the quiz. Okay? I will adjust the schedule of the quiz. Is that clear? Walang magbida-bida, ha? Okay. Apparently, meron na namang isang bagyo na papasok. Tama ba? So, tapusin na natin to. Pero mahaba-haba pa kasi marami pang topics eh. Hindi ko alam kung kayang i-cover lahat. Wait lang. Raven and Aliyah, pa-check ng attendance. Okay. So, we have already discussed the introduction to subjective refraction. Now we go to the actual. This will be also explained to you in the laboratory, but I would want to, really discuss the steps on how to go about doing subjective refraction. Now, yung subjective refraction na ginagawa natin ay monocular, meaning to say, when you do your refraction, you do it one eye at a time. Okay? So if you're done with one eye, then you do the other eye as well. Pero monocular tayo. And then of course, kapag nakuha mo na parehas yung prescription, tsaka mo i-introduce ngayon yung hindi i-introduce, tsaka mo ngayon pagsabayin yung correction for the right and the left, tapos binocular viewing. Titignan mo kung patient is comfortable with the correction. But anyway, unahin muna natin yung steps in doing subjective refraction. Now, when you do subjective refraction, it is important that you have to observe standard room illumination. Okay? So pag sinabing standard room illumination, yan yung setting na kung saan your patient is mostly exposed to. So it's either you do photopic refraction or you do mesopic refraction. Okay, now, kapag kayo ay nagre-refraction sa Essilor, ang inyong target ay illuminated or lighted. Tama? Kasi TV chart yon. Kung gagamit kayo ng EDTRS chart, illuminated din yon. Kung gagamit kayo ng Snellen chart, illuminated din yon. So you have to adjust the room illumination. You make sure that you don't turn on the additional light that you have on the refracting unit, yung overhead lamp ninyo. Kasi too much intensity can cause pupillary constriction and that can influence your VT number 7. Okay? So you make sure na if you are doing a photopic refraction, yung inyong test target should not be lighted. Okay? Kasi ang photopic, maliwanag ang examination room. Kung ang gagamitin nyo na target ay illuminated pa rin, that is too much light already sa inyong examination room. Okay? Kung ang gagamitin ninyo ay meso, kasi ang meso sapat lamang. Hindi madilim, hindi rin siya maliwanag, katamtaman lamang. So, you are allowed to use a lighted or illuminated target. Is that clear? So, observe those things. Now, you have the option to either use the phoropter head or yung inyong trial case. Pero mas convenient gamitin ang phoropter head kasi clicks lang ang inyong gagawin. Di ba meron kayong Wixsphere dial dyan? Yun lamang yung inyong gagamitin unless kailangan nyo yung strong sphere dial. Ngayon, kung trial frame kasi yan ang gagamitin ninyo or yung trial case, masyado siyang matagal gawin kasi you are actually changing lenses right before the patient's eye. So, hindi siya ganon kabilis gawin. Unlike sa phoropter head, na clicks lang ang inyong gagawin or i-manipulate nyo lang yung dial ng phoropter head. Now, going back, when you do your subjective refraction also, you must make sure that patient is not using his accommodation. Lalo na kung may blurry vision at distance ang complaint niya. Kasi accommodate yan to see clearly. So you have to remind your patient every now and then na not to exert accommodation. Huwag pilitin ang mata na makakita ng malinaw. Okay? Kasi yun precisely ang ginagawa mo. Palilinawin mo yung vision niya. So, any effort to accommodate on the part of the patient will only result to a faulty VT number 7. So, ask your patient to relax his vision, not to exert effort. Okay? So, yun dapat yung reminder ninyo sa pasyente ninyo. Now, there are several steps in doing subjective refraction. We now go first to the fogging technique. What is a fogging or what is the fogging technique? So naturally, kababanggit ko lang, when you do your subjective refraction, natural na you would expect your patient's accommodation not to be stimulated. Now, to make sure na hindi na i-stimulate ang accommodation ng pasyente, you have to fog the patient. Kaya nga yan ang first step. Okay? Fogging is relaxing the patient's accommodation with lenses. So, yaan yung paraan para ikaw ay makasigurado na hindi stimulated or hindi na i-stimulate yung accommodation ng patient by introducing plus lenses over one eye first. Okay. Now, when you are fogging, kasi plus lens ang ginagamit mo, minumove mo ang focus. Kasi pag nag-i-increase ka ng lens right before the patient's eye, nagiging more converging ang ilaw. So therefore, light, when it goes into the eye at tumatama yan sa plus lens, converging ang kanyang behavior. Nagko-converge yan. Okay. So, bago ko makalimutan, may nalimutan pala ako. Unang-una, kapag kayo ay magsa-subjective refraction, you make sure na meron na kayong basehan ng VA ng patient. So, dapat merong UVA ang patient. Okay? UVA, unaided visual acuity, dapat nakuha nyo na yan. Kasi yan yung magiging starting point niyo ng subjective refraction. Now, going back, the first step is to fog the patient. By fogging, it means that you will be introducing plus lenses right before the patient's eye. Bakit? Kasi this one will make sure na ang pasyente ninyo hindi nag-accommodate. So, nire-relax ng plus lenses yung accommodation ng pasyente. And by doing so, you are actually moving the focus in front of the retina, making the patient artificially myopic. Okay? Now, kung ganon na nag-move ang focus papalayo sa retina ng pasyente, lalong lumalabo yung kanyang nakikita. Kaya 'di ba meron tayong reflex accommodation na tinatawag na in response to blurry vision mag-accommodate tayo. Kaya lang ang problema nasa harap na yung focus. Any effort to accommodate will only move the focus more forward. So it will result to a more blurry vision. So there is no way for the patient now to use his accommodation, especially when you have enough lenses plus plus lenses in front of his eye. Naintindihan ba ako? So yan ang aim ng fogging, to relax the patient's accommodation, making the eye artificially myopic. Okay. Now, papaano po ginagawa ito? So meron kang UVA. So let's say for example, ang UVA ng patient mo for the right eye ay nababasa niya lamang hanggang 20/40. Okay, so this is 2200, 100, 70, 50, 40. 20/40 lang yung kanyang nababasa. If you ask the patient to read the succeeding line, malabo na sa kanya. So you have a UVA of 20/40. Now that is substandard VA, right? Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na subnormal VA. Ano ba ang aim ng fogging? Sabi ko nga kanina, it is to relax the patient's accommodation. It is to make the eyes or the eye artificially myopic. Okay. Now, the procedure in fogging tells you that you have to increase the amount of plus lenses in front of the patient's eye until such the patient will report the biggest letter blurry. Yan ang criterion ng fogging lens mo, to render the biggest letter blurry. Okay? Naintindihan? So, there are ways to fog. There are ways to fog. Ano-ano yung mga ways to fog? Yung usual na ginagawa natin, if you are using the phoropter head, is to increase in quarter diopter steps yung plus lenses. So you begin by adding plus 0.25. Kung 20/40 ang VA ng pasyente, the plus 0.25 may or may not actually blur out the preceding line. Pero for as long as nag-i-increase ka, definitely yung preceding line nagiging malabo. Until such na lalabo na talaga ang biggest letter. Parang ganito. Okay? So, the amount of lenses that you have on your phoropter head which rendered the biggest letter blurry is your fogging lens. Okay? So, this makes sure na yung focus ng pasyente ay nasa harap na talaga ng retina. Okay. Yan ay kapag substandard ang VA ng pasyente. Okay. So, by means of adding plus lenses in quarter diopter steps, one way yan of fogging. Another way of fogging is you can skip the increase of plus lenses in front of the patient's eye by doing yung sudden fog. Sudden fog is putting +2 kaagad sa mata or in front of the patient's eye. Skip mo na yung process na 0.25, 50, 75, 1, hanggang sa mag-blur out yung biggest letter. So para mas maiksi yung procedure, ilagay mo kaagad ang sudden fog. Okay? So dalawang options ka meron. Kasi itong number 2 dito, na ilalagay mo ang gross retinoscopic finding, ay medyo shortcut na process ito. Kasi papaano kung may cylindrical component yung pasyente mo? So, kailangan kasi when you say subjective refraction na step-by-step process, hindi tayo mag-i-skip nung determination of the cylinder axis and amount. Kasi pag sinabing gross retinoscopic finding at kung may cylinder component yung retinoscopy finding ng patient mo, nandun na, na-determine mo na ang cylinder component. So, mas applicable sa fogging etong number 1 at etong number 3. Okay? So, but just because na kayo ay mag-uumpisa pa lamang, I would suggest you start with this one so that you may experience na as you are increasing the amount of plus lenses right before the eye of the patient, you are actually blurring the preceding line or yung mga preceding lines bago nyo ma-blur out ang biggest letter. Naiintindihan ba ako? Naiintindihan ako? Okay. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, okay, so whether your patient has myopia or hyperopia, for as long as substandard ang VA, kailangan mo yan i-fog in quarter diopter steps. Or kailangan mo yan i-fog by putting +2 na tinatawag nating sudden fog para i-blur out yung biggest letter. Ang tanong ko ay, sino kaya yung may condition na kung saan either may uncorrected myopia or either may uncorrected hyperopia, sino kaya sa dalawang yan would require more plus to blur out the biggest letter? Would that be an uncorrected myo or an uncorrected hyperop? Yes, Mark. Ang uncorrected hyperopia would require more plus to blur out the biggest letter. Okay, bakit? Kasi sa uncorrected myopia, nasa ng focus in front of the retina. All you have to do is to move it farther away, right? Pero ang hyperopic na uncorrected ang hyperopia niya, nasa likod yan ng retina. As you are putting plus, increasing plus, at some point, dadaan yan sa retina ang focus. Kaya ang nangyayari, from malabo, lilinaw yan, pero dapat palabuin mo ulit. Kailangan mo kasing i-forward ang focus. Okay? Nasa likod, kapag sa uncorrected hyperopia, nasa likod yan ng retina, as you are increasing plus, yan ay palapit ng palapit sa retina hanggang sa malalagpasan niya yung retina. So ang nangyayari dyan, instead of nagiging blurry ang preceding line, nagiging clear ang preceding line, at habang ini-increase mo lalo, lumalabo yan. Okay? So lilinaw muna bago lalabo. Pero sinasabi ko nga na alinman at sa dalawang yan, ang uncorrected hyperop ay siyang mangangailangan ng higher plus to blur out the biggest letter. Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan? Okay. So, yan ay para sa merong substandard na VA. Paano naman yung pasyente na merong subnormal na VA? Hindi ba the aim or not the aim? When doing fogging, you have to blur out the biggest letter. But because your patient has a subnormal visual acuity, Therefore, malabo na yung biggest letter. So, is there a need to fog? Do you think there is a need to fog the patient? Kasi to begin with, blurry na yung biggest letter. So, kailangan pa ba natin siyang i-fog? Yes, Mark. Hindi mo na kailangan i-fog kung ang pasyente mo merong habitual correction at ang habitual correction niya ay minus. E paano kung ang pasyente mo ay subnormal ang VA, hindi mo alam ngayon kung siya ay may myopia or may hyperopia. So hindi ka magfa-fog. Okay lang sana kung may habitual correction siya, 'di ba? Yan yung clue mo eh, na kailangan ko ba mag-fog o hindi na? Sige nga, ilenso ko yung habitual correction. Myopia, minus lens ito. So hindi ka na magfa-fog talaga. Eh paano kung ang patient mo hindi mo sigurado dahil wala namang habitual correction, hindi mo sigurado kung may uncorrected myopia yan or may uncorrected hyperopia yan. So anong magiging sagot mo? Hindi pa rin? No need to fog pa rin? Randel?
Kailangan pa rin pong i-fog.
Kailangan i-fog. Eh paano nga kung uncorrected myopia? Ifa-fog pa rin? Okay, ganito. Kung hindi mo alam at walang previous correction or walang habitual correction yung patient at clueless ka kung ang case mo ba ay uncorrected myopia or uncorrected hyperopia dahil subnormal ang VA ng patient, you take a +1 sphere +1 diopter sphere. You introduce that in front of the patient's eye. If the +1 improves the vision of your patient, slightly improves the vision of your patient, then you know that your patient is a hyperope. But if it makes the vision more blurry, then you know na ang pasyente mo ay hindi favorable sa kanya ang +1, lalong lumalabo. So most likely ang pasyente mo myope. Okay? So sa case na yan, there is no need to fog. Pero pag nag-add ka ng +1 at merong slight improvement sa VA ng patient, then you need to fog your patient. Is that understood? Is that understood? Okay, now, so nag-fog ka, okay, increasing the amount of plus lens in front of a patient's eye. From a VA of 20/40, as you are adding plus, you are rendering each line blurry until such na yung biggest letter ay no longer readable. Okay? Hindi na siya nababasa. Then you stop. Dahil alam mo, in front of the retina na yung focus ng patient. So, yan ang fogging. Now, the next procedure would be whatever you have previously put in, you have to remove. Pero, yaan ay ang pagtatanggal mo or pagre-reduce mo nung amount na inilagay mo sa unang step, which is fogging, dapat gradual ang pag-decrease. So sa unfogging, you are actually decreasing the plus lens now until such na yung pasyente nyo ay makikita niya na yung kanyang best line. Not the UVA, but the best line with the tentative sphere. Okay? So how is that? So example, ang VA ay 20/40. So nag-increase ka ng plus, it took you mga plus 125 to blur out the biggest letter. So the next thing to do is to unfog. So from plus 125, gagawin mo siyang plus 1, plus 75, plus 50, plus 25, at dadaan ka sa plano. Pag dumaan ka sa plano, natural ang nababasa niya yung kanyang UVA. Tama? Continuously kang magbababa hanggang sa marating mo ang minus. Okay. But let me just tell you na meron kang rules in changing lenses. Okay? Whether you are fogging or unfogging. Kapag plus ang lens ninyo, plus, ilalagay nyo muna, kunyari nag-umpisa kayo sa plus 25, kunyari fogging muna tayo, plus 25. Pag increase mo niyan, ilalagay mo muna yung 50 bago mo tanggalin yung plus 25. Yan ay sa plus. Yan ay kapag trial frame ang ginagamit. Kasi walang problema kung ikaw ay naka-phoropter head. Dire-diretso lang ang pagtaas or pagbaba mo kung fogging or unfogging man ang iyong ginagawa. Pero kapag ikaw ay naka-trial frame at trial lenses yung inyong ginagamit, there is a rule when you are changing lenses. So if it's a plus, okay, you introduce first the new lens before you remove the previous one. Naintindihan? So it's like putting plus 25. As you are increasing, you put in plus 50 first before you remove the plus 0.25. You put in the plus 75 first before you remove the plus 50. Is that understood? Or kapag nag-unfog ka, dumating ka sa plus 125. So sa plus 125, ilalagay mo muna yung plus 1 bago mo tanggalin yung plus 125. Ilagay mo muna yung 75 bago mo tanggalin yung plus 1. Iba kapag sa minus na. Halimbawa, nag-a-unfog ka na, nakarating ka ng minus. Sa minus, kabaligtaran. You remove first the previous before you put in the new one. Okay? So yun ang gagawin ninyo kapag kayo ay naka-trial frame. Pagdating sa unfogging at papunta na kayo sa minus 25 sa plano, minus 25. Remove minus 25 before you introduce minus 0.50. Okay? Remove minus 50 before you introduce minus 0.75. So yan ang rules in changing lenses. So sa plus lens, put in the new lens first before you remove the previous. Pag sa minus, you remove the previous lens before you put in the new one. Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan. Okay. So yan ha, i-observe nyo yan kapag kayo ay naka-trial case or naka-trial lenses ang ginagamit. Now, so you are now unfogging. When you say you are unfogging, you are actually decreasing, gradual decrease in the plus lens, and you will stop at a point where you will reach the patient's best line. Ano ba yung best line? Yung best line ninyo ay siya yung pinakamaliit na linya ng mga letters na nababasa ng pasyente with the maximum plus or the minimum minus na tentative sphere niya. Tentative pa lamang dahil kayo ay magpa-finalize niyan. Okay, so example, from plus 125 na fogging lens, you will be reducing that gradually. Okay, so as you are decreasing the amount of plus, you are actually clearing the succeeding line. Ang preceding yung sa fogging, pero pag nag-unfog, succeeding na, pababa na. Okay? Now, there will be patients na kung saan ang kanilang ametropia ay spherical lamang. So meaning to say, it can be corrected using a spherical lens and most likely they can actually reach 20/20. However, there are patients na astigmatic ang mata. So meaning to say, hindi siya corrected by simply providing the spherical correction. It has to be with a cylinder component. Okay? But scratch muna natin yan, dun muna tayo sa spherical ametropia. Okay? So gusto ko lang din sabihin na sa fogging lens, hindi lahat ng pasyente, sa unfogging, during unfogging, not all patients will be able to read the 20/20 line, especially in patients with astigmatism or patients with amblyopia. Okay, so granting na ang pasyente natin may spherical ametropia. Spherical lang, wala pang cylinder. Walang cylinder component rather, walang astigmatism. So nagre-reduce ka ngayon ng plus lens, okay? Hanggang sa ang pasyente mo ay nag-reduce ka, dumaan ka sa plano, bumalik yung kanyang vision sa 20/40 kasi yun yung UVA niya. So mapupunta ka ngayon sa minus. Pag sa minus, there is a slight improvement in the VA. So malalaman mo yan sa pasyente kasi every now and then tinatanong mo, o ano na ang nababasa mo? O ano na ngayon? O what about now? So nagma-minus ka na. Halimbawa, umabot ka sa minus 0.75. Nabasa ng pasyente yung last line, yung 20/20. Okay? Pero with slight difficulty. 20/20 with slight difficulty. And then you introduce down the -1. Ang sabi ni patient, that is better. Okay? That is better. -1 yon. Nag-introduce ka pa ng -125. Sabi ni patient, malinaw pero too bright. Or malinaw pero masyadong dark yung mga letters. Hindi yun ang pipiliin mo. Ibig sabihin, you have induced too much minus already. So between a -1 na nababasa niya ang 20/20 and a -125, nababasa niya ang 20/20 pero too bright or ang letters too dark, you would choose the lesser minus. Okay? Kaya nga may criterion tayo when choosing the best sphere. It is of course the lesser minus or the maximum plus for best vision. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay, malinaw ba? Malinaw ha, naintindihan ng marami. Okay. Ngayon, natatapos ba ang kwento doon? O kasi -1, 20/20 na yung pasyente ko. Hindi. Dahil meron pa tayong gagawin. We will be finalizing the sphere. How? When we finalize the sphere, meron tayong ginagamit yung tinatawag na duochrome test or yung bichrome test or yung red-green test. Alin man dyan, pare-parehas lamang yan. Now, if you have explored the TV chart, meron kayong makikita dyan na red-green, RG, na kung saan, when you press that, you will see either rings on red and green backgrounds, or meron sa ibang TV chart na hindi naman rings pero letters on red and green. Okay? Yaan ang inyong gagamitin to finalize the sphere. Yaan ay kapag 20/20 ang best line ng pasyente ninyo. You will never do duochrome unless 20/20 ang vision when doing subjective refraction. Pero may ibang gamit din ang duochrome ha, hindi lang para sa 20/20 na VA. Meron siyang ibang gamit. Pero ito kasi nag-uumpisa pa lamang tayo, ito muna yung i-discuss ko. Okay. Now, balik tayo doon sa red-green test. Why would you use a red or the green color in finalizing the sphere power? Kasi sa chromatic aberration, meaning to say yung spectrum ng kulay, color spectrum, kapag sa, lakihan ko lang to. If your patient is an emmetrope, meaning to say nagko-correlate ang total refracting power of the eye tsaka yung axial length, okay? Yung perception ng color, nakikita yan. Lahat naman tayo nakakakita ng color. Pero yung pwesto niya sa retina ng isang emmetrope. Kasi di ba wavelength ng ilaw, marami yung ilaw. Di ba Roy G. Biv nga yan. Yung least na nare-refract ang red, ang most refracted of course ay yung violet. Okay? So in an emmetropic eye, yung color yellow is the one that falls exactly on the retina. For a myopic eye or for a hyperopic eye na ang kanilang hyperopia at myopia, ang sanhi ay eggshell length. Okay, eggshell length kasi pwedeng refractive, di ba? Kung eggshell length ang pag-uusapan, yung color red sa ating chromatic aberration, yung color red is the one that falls exactly on the retina of an uncorrected myopic eye, simply because may long eye siya. The color green, on the other hand, is the one that goes on the retina of an uncorrected hyperope. Okay? Yung red at yung green ay yan yung mga kulay na equidistant from the retina of an emmetropic eye. Kaya siya yung magiging, or sila yung mga kulay na gagamitin para i-check ang sphere power. You would want red and green to be equidistant from the retina by putting yellow exactly on the retina of an uncorrected hyperope or an uncorrected myope. Siyempre, pag kinorek mo na siya, ine-expect mo na yellow is exactly on the retina of a corrected myope or a corrected hyperope, and green and red are equidistant from yellow, which is exactly on the retina. Naintindihan ba ako? Naintindihan. Okay, so yan yung gusto nating masigurado na ang yellow, kung 20/20 na ang pasyente ko sa -1, ang yellow ba ay exactly on the retina of this patient. So I would now test if this is true by introducing now the duochrome chart. Now, yung duochrome chart, meron yan procedure. Okay? So you have a -1. On top of your -1, it is necessary that you introduce a plus 0.50. Plus 0.50 is constant. Okay? It does not have a name, but that would be the lens that you would add on top of your tentative sphere, which is the -1. Do you understand? Now, what happens if, halimbawa, artificially emmetropic na yung patient mo? So, ito ang retina niya, halimbawa, yellow nandyan. What happens if you put a plus 0.50 in front of his eye? At the same time, i-introduce mo ang duochrome chart. I-introduce mo yan. And remember, not pala i-remember, info lamang. Ang mga letters na kapag in-introduce mo yung duochrome chart, ang mga letters dyan na nandun sa red and green backgrounds ay slightly bigger than your best line. Bakit? Kasi sa duochrome procedure, naglalagay ka ng plus 0.50. Pag naglagay ka ng plus 0.50 over the -1, over your tentative sphere na -1, magiging minus 0.50 na lang yan. So actually, kung ang letters over the red and green backgrounds ay sinlaki ng 20/20 line nyo, hindi niya yan mababasa. Dahil -50 na lang yan. What makes him si 20/20? Di ba -1? E pinatungan mo ng plus 0.50. Hindi niya mababasa kung ang laki ng letters on the red and green backgrounds ay sinlaki nung sa 20/20 line nyo. Kaya ang letters on the red and green background sa duochrome ay malaki. So that when you add the plus 0.50, yung mga letters na yan will not be blurry. It would still be clear. Naintindihan? So, as soon as you put plus 0.50 and introduce the duochrome chart, ano ang mangyayari sa position na to? Anong mangyayari? Or kunyari ang pasyente mo ay myope, na-correct mo na siya ng -1, so naging artificially emmetropic na siya. So you would assume yellow now will be on the retina. But over your -1, naglagay ka ng +0.50. Ano sa tingin mo ang mangyayari sa focus ni patient? Saan mapupunta si yellow? Saan mapupunta si green? Saan mapupunta si red? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, Mark. Si Mark na lang kausap ko parati. So not exactly on the retina, but the right term, the right way to say this is red will be pulled closer, if not on the retina, closer to the retina or on the retina. Okay, so that when you introduce the red-green filters, now, no, not filters, you don't call them filters, the duochrome test, when you ask your patient, are the letters on the red and green backgrounds equally dark or equally black? O, kung hindi letters yan, baka ito ang presentation. Are the circles on the red and green backgrounds equally dark or equally black? Natural. Ang sasabihin ng pasyente ninyo ay, they are not equally dark. No, they are not equally black. Or syempre, may slight blurring na mangyayari, pwede ang magiging sagot ng pasyente mo ay no, they are not equally clear. No, they are not equally dark. No, they are not equally black. Okay? Simply because yellow now was moved or is moved in front of the retina, pulling red closer to the retina. Kaya ang expected response mo would be letters on red darker. Okay, or letters on red more black, or letters on red clearer. Okay, so kapag ganyan, dun natin ibe-base yung pag-change ng lens natin sa mnemonics na RAM, rim, grip, gap. Ano po yung mga yon? Sa RAM, rim, when the patient responds to letters or circles on red darker, red, red, rim ha, red increase minus, or red add minus. So that would signal now the examiner to increase minus. Okay? So from minus 0.50, gagawin niya ngayong minus 0.75. So tatanungin niya ulit yung patient, what about now? If the patient continues to respond to still letters on red darker, or still letters on red black, more black, continue to increase minus. Okay? Hanggang sa makarating ka sa -1. Pag sinabi ng pasyente o pag tinanong mo, what about now? Pag tinanong mo si patient ng, what about now? Pag sumagot siya ng, ayan, pantay na yung pagka-dark ng letters on the red and green. That means tama yung tentative sphere mo na -1. So therefore, -1 now is your final spherical power with the best line of 2020. Naintindihan? Naintindihan? When you have your tentative sphere, and you will now introduce the duochrome chart, put in plus 0.50, dapat iniisip na ng examiner or ng clinician na ang response ng pasyente pag tinanong ko, are the letters on the red and green backgrounds equally dark or equally black? Or are the circles, kung circles man yan, on the red and green backgrounds equally dark or equally black or equally clear? Ang dapat na ine-expect ng examiner ay a response that would always be letters or circles on red darker. Kasi Pag naglagay ka ng plus 0.50, ipupull ang focus ng ipupull yung red color closer to the retina. That is why your patient would always respond to letters on red or circles on red, darker or clearer or black. Okay? Never would your patient respond to grip or green, letters on green. Kasi ang grip or gap, grip, G-R-I-P, tsaka gap, G-A-P. Green increase plus, green add plus. Okay? Never na magre-respond ang pasyente nyo with the addition of plus 50 on top of your VT number, on top of your tentative sphere is a plus 0.50. Never would your patient respond to letters or circles on green darker. Mali ibig sabihin yung inyong tentative sphere. Ulitin nyo fogging hanggang saan fogging. Okay? May question dito? May question. Yes, Mark. May? Walang problema. Walang problema. Hindi tayo nagbabase sa color. Nagbabase tayo how dark the letters are on red and green. Hindi tayo nagko-compare na how red is red, how green is green. We are comparing yung letters on red and green kung sila ba ay equally dark or equally clear or equally black. Kahit na may problema sa color ang pasyente mo, kunyari, may deficiency siya sa red would still be red. Iba nga lang ang tingin niya sa red, pero walang mababago doon sa perception niya ng black doon sa nakalagay sa red and green backgrounds. It's not about perception of color. It's about moving of the color away from the retina or towards the retina. Naintindihan ba ako? Okay. So, meron tayong problema sa fogging and unfogging before we proceed to determination of axis and cylinder amount. Yes, Zach.
Dok, i-check ko lang Yung sa, in the case of subnormal na hyperope, kailangan pa rin siyang i-fog.
Yes, kailangan pa rin siyang
So,
i-fog.
bale, maglalagay ka ng plus lens, lilinaw siya, and then papalabuhin niyo ulit?
Okay. Kapag naglagay ka ng plus 1 at medyo nagkaroon ng slight improvement, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo siyang i-fog.
Apa. So,
Okay.
paano po yung ginagawa?
So, ganun din. Ano ba gusto mo? In quarter diopter steps o sudden fog? Kasi yan ay subnormal.
Apa.
Baka walang effect sa kanya, yung plus 25, plus ganyan, di ba? Lagyan mo ng sudden fog. Kung halimbawa, nag-improve ang vision niya from 2200 or subnormal ang VA pala, hindi 2200, kanya para 15200, naging 2070 sa paglagay mo ng plus 2. Mag-increase mo pa rin yan. Gawin mo 225, 250, hanggang sa ma-blur out mo yung biggest letter.
Okay po.
Pero kung gusto mo naman na isakripisyo yung oras mo na 0.25, 0.50, sige, ibigay ang hilig. Pero tama yung ginagawa mo. Okay? Kaso subnormal yan. Ba't ka pa mag-quarter diopter steps? Di maglagay ka ng plus 2. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more question before we proceed? Ito habang dinidiscuss natin to from steps 1 to ilan ba? Ilang steps yan? 8 steps yan eh. Pahirap ng pahirap to. Ha? Kailangan intindihin natin. Okay? So kung sinasabi kong pahirap ng pahirap, hindi naman na tinatakot ko kayo kasi mabilis naman siya intindihin. Okay? Mabilis naman siya intindihin. So can we continue? Okay, what time is it now? 5:44. Yes, Gabriel.
Doc, Question ko lang po, gaano po kalabo dapat yung nakikita po ni
Letter
patient?
T lang yan nakikita ko. Hindi nakabukas ang camera mo.
Sorry po, Doc. Question ko lang po.
Buong lang ang nakikita ko sa'yo. Buong mukha. Yan, gwapo
Yes,
pala
po,
si
Doc.
Gabriel. Ba't na ipakita ang tunay na kapugian?
Doc, question ko lang po, gaano po kalabo po dapat yung nakikita ni patient kapag fina-fog po?
Anong ganong kalabo? Yung biggest letter?
Yes po. I mean, yung labo po, like, halimbawa po,
Okay. Ano
yes.
ang biggest letter ang pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? Sa fogging tayo.
Yes po.
For as long as hindi na niya mabasa ang biggest letter, nagbumuka siya, di ba? Ang biggest letter, common naman sa biggest letter, 3 guhit, E yan, di ba? So kung nyari, nagmukha ng F, stop ka na. Hindi na kasi biggest letter mo ay E, nagmukha na siyang F. Medyo nag-overlap na yung mga linya. For as long as blurry ang biggest letter, okay? Baka kayo, sumobra kayo, umabot na kayo ng +5 kasi naaaninag pa rin. Hindi. Ang fogging lens ninyo, sumusobra lang yan kapag may uncorrected hyperopia yung pasyente ninyo ng pagkalaki-laki yung amount. Okay? So yun, basta for as long as naging blurry na yung biggest letter, ganito na lang, unreadable. Okay? Hindi yung barely readable. For as long as naging blurry na at unreadable na yung biggest letter, yun na. Stop ka na sa fogging lens mo. And anyway, wala namang ano yan eh. Wala namang tama or mali sa fogging lens for as long as na-blur out mo yung biggest letter. So it doesn't matter kung ang preferred ni patient ay malabo. Depende yan sa explanation mo. Kapag lumabo yung biggest letter, sabihin mo sa akin. Okay? Or kung hindi mo nababasa yung biggest letter, sabihin mo sa akin. Okay? Stop na tayo sa fogging.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you po.
Okay? May question pa before we proceed? Wala na? Okay. So we now go to determination of cylinder axis and amount. Medyo mahaba-haba to. Okay. Now, during the course of your unfogging, okay, halimbawa, 2040 ang UVA. So, nag-unfog ka, nag-unfog, dumating ka sa minus 0.50, nabasa niya slightly ang 2030 sa minus 0.50. Nag-increase ka, make it minus 0.75. Ganun pa rin. Nag-increase ka ng minus 1. Ay, lumiit na yung mga letra. So, anong pipiliin mo doon na tentative sphere mo? Si minus 50, si minus 75, or si minus 1? Ulitin ko, nag-unfog ka. 2040 ang UVA. So, nag-unfog ka. Minus 0.25, medyo may slight improvement doon sa 2040 line. Naglagay ka ng minus 0.50. May naaaninag na siya doon sa 2030 na line. Sa minus 75. Medyo may slight improvement na kesa kanina. Okay? Minus 1. Lumiit na yung mga letra. So, anong pipiliin nyo na inyong tentative sphere? Si minus 50, si minus 75, or si minus 1? Anyone? Walang sasagot. Jaden?
Minus 75 po.
Si minus 75. Kasi si minus 50, meron lang slight improvement. Pero si minus 75, ayan, medyo mas maganda kesa yung kanina. Kaya lang si -1, lumiit daw. Medyo lumayo. O yung pipiliin mo, -0.75. Kaya lang, anong best line? 2030. Okay? So would you stop at that? Okay na ba na 2030 na lang yung ay yung best VA ng pasyente mo? Of course not. So that would initiate the examiner to check for astigmatism. Now, you have your best line at 20, 30 with a little bit of mistakes. Okay? And then, ang tentative sphere mo is -0.75. Okay? So, tandaan nyo yan ha. Isusulat natin yan. Isulat nyo rin. Para meron tayong amount na pinag-uusapan. So, ang ating tentative sphere ay -0.75 with a best line of 2030. UVA is 2040, by the way. Okay. So, kapag ganyan na walang improvement to 2020, kasi yun yung aim natin to give the patient the best possible VA with the best possible correction. Okay? So, you would not settle for -0.75 na may mistakes pa yung pasyente sa 2030 na line. Okay? And hindi ganun ka-clear. So, you would check for astigmatism. Okay? Pero, bago ang lahat, nakalagay ang inyong -0.75, meron kayong changes na gagawin sa lens ninyo. Kapag kayo ay nag-check for astigmatism, access muna bago ang amount. Naglalagay kayo ng tinatawag na proper fog on top of your tentative sphere. Okay? So, how much would the proper fog be? Ang amount ng proper fog ay plus 0.50, constant. Para saan po yan? Ang plus 0.50 na proper fog ay ginagamit natin to slightly relax the patient's accommodation. It can have an influence on what the patient sees, but it is not that significant. Kasi later on, tatanggalin din natin yan. Okay? So, kapag pinagsabay mo na ang tentative sphere at ang proper fog, ang tawag doon ay sphere used to fog. Okay? SUF mo yun. Sphere used to fog. Okay. So, by the way, alam nyo ang different types of astigmatism. Hindi ba? Na-discuss na natin yan. 3 types, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 3. Pag 3, yan ay simple astigmatism, compound astigmatism, or mixed astigmatism. Alam nyo ang position ng mga foci in astigmatism. Tama? Pag parehas na focus in front, yan ay compound myopic. Pag isa nasa retina, yung isa nasa harap, yan ay simple. Anong klaseng simple astigmatism? Di simple myopic yan. Ito, on the other hand, isa sa likod, isa sa harap ng retina, mixed yan. At kapag ang dalawang foci ay nandun sa likod ng retina, compound hyperopic yan. Pag isa nasa retina, yung isa wala sa retina at nasa likod, yan ay simple hyperopic. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo dito? Give me a thumbs up kung naintindihan. Okay, very easy to understand. Okay. In the determination of your astigmatism, you have first to determine the axis bago yung amount. Now, there are different types of chart which you can utilize to determine the amount and the axis. Or by the way, the axis and the amount pala. Okay? Kasi mauuna dinidetermine ang axis bago ang amount. Okay. So pag-usapan muna natin yung Colebrook chart. Etong astigmatic fundial, ito yung pinaka-common na ginagamit. Okay? Pero dapat nyo malaman ang paggamit nitong Colebrook chart. So, i-discuss muna natin yan. Now, meron kasi siyang pasobra dito. Wala actually yan. Ito lang yung nag-iisang nakita ko sa internet. So, ito yung inilagay ko dito. Okay. So, if you notice, just like the most common, which is the astigmatic fan dial, your Colebrook chart also consists of lines. Okay? You call this a fan chart kasi mukha siyang pamaypay. Okay. So just like the Colebrook chart, ang astigmatic fan dial ay meron din na tinatawag na spokes or lines. Spokes to, S-P-O-K-E-S. Okay? Now, itong mga lines na to, they represent your axis and your meridian. Okay? So they represent your axis, they also would represent your meridian. But these are actually meridians. Okay? Now, if you notice, meron yan na degrees. Okay? Magsisimula yan from 0 all the way to 180 degrees. At ang interval each line is 10 degrees, just like this one as well. Okay? Yan. So, kapag kayo ay mag-uumpisa ng mag-determine ng astigmatism, please note na ang pasyente, okay, of course may right, may left na side ng kamay. 0 will always be to the left of the patient. Yung 180 degrees ay nasa right side ng pasyente. Okay? Laging niyong tatandaan na kahit ano mang astigmatic fan dial yan, pag nakaharap ang pasyente sa target na yan, 0 will always be on the left or to the left of the patient. Siyempre, kung ako ang pasyente, nakaharap sa akin si examiner, nandun ang astigmatic fan dial or nandun ang Colebrook chart, pag nakaharap si examiner sa akin, nasa ng 0 ni examiner? Nasa right niya. Kasi nakaharap siya sa akin. Pero not to confuse, we will always base it based on patient's perspective. Na 0 will always be to the left, okay, of the patient and 180 degrees to the right of the patient. Always patient's perspective yan. Naintindihan? Now, aside from that, sabi ko na-mention ko na kanina, ang interval ng bawat line ay 10 degrees. Okay? Ganun din sa Colebrook chart. Now, aside from that, ang pagkakaiba ng astigmatic fan dial sa Colebrook ay merong rotating disc ang Colebrook na kung saan merong inverted V or yung tinatawag na arrow head. Okay? Inverted V or the arrowhead. And on the bottom of the arrowhead are 2 square sets of lines running on opposite sides yan. No, running on opposite direction, not sides. Running on opposite direction. One is oriented vertically and the other one is oriented horizontally. Okay, so this is how the kwento goes when you use the Colebrook chart or the Colebrook astigmatic dial. Okay, so with the tentative sphere in place, you introduce now the proper fog, which is plus 0.50. So ang natitira na lang sa phoropter head ay ilan? Ilan? Nako, sumagot kayo dahil hindi tayo magkakaintindihan. Ilan? Tentative sphere na minus 0.75. You add plus 0.50, which is your proper fog. You introduce the astigmatic fan dial. In this case, you introduce now the Colebrook chart. Okay? So what is now left on the phoropter head? Yes, Zach.
Minus 25 po.
Minus 0.25. Okay? So yun ang lens in place mo. Okay. Now, ang una mong itatanong sa pasyente, Focus on these lines, okay? Now tell me, are the lines equally black? Or are the lines equally clear? Or are the lines equally dark? If the patient says, yes, they are all equal, or yes, they are equally dark, yes, they are equally black, yes, they are equally dark, or equally clear. Pag yan ang sinagot ni patient na equal, wala tayong pag-uusapan na astigmatism. You have to find out what is causing the non-improvement to 2020 ng patient ninyo. Kasi wala siyang astigmatism. Anong ibig sabihin? Bakit hindi nagta-2020 ang pasyente ko? Ang unang papasok sa utak ninyo ay baka merong mapurol na vision ang patient ko kaya hindi nag-i-improve. Baka siya ay merong amblyopia. So yun ang unang papasok sa isip mo. Kaya lang, maraming klase ng amblyopia. Isa-isahin mo yan kung yan ba ang tunay na cause. Okay? So ulitin ko, pag walang nag-i-stand out na lines or line, equal daw lahat, kulay man yan, or yung clarity pare-parehas, ibig sabihin walang astigmatism yung pasyente. But when the patient reports, hindi po sila equally dark lahat. Ibig sabihin, meron astigmatism yung patient. Okay, so magsisimula na tayong magtanong ng pangalawang tanong. Pwede niyo po bang sabihin sa akin, ano yung mga, kung hindi po ba sila pare-parehas na equally dark, meron po bang mas dark dyan? Ituro niyo po sa akin. Okay, so ang pasyente, mas clear ito, di ba, kumpara dito. So dito muna tayo. Ito muna gamitin natin in reference to this one, ha. Kunyari, ito ay Colebrook chart. So dito muna tayo. Okay. Alin po dyan yung nag-i-stand out? Or alin po dyan yung mga dark? Sa tingin yung mga dark? Yung nasa kanan ko po, simula dun sa una hanggang dun sa pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat, pang-lima. Yun po yung mga dark. Simula dun sa kanan ko, yung first line po, yung second, yung third, yung fourth, yung fifth. Yan po yung mga dark. Okay? Pag na-point out ni patient yung pinaka-dark sa kanya, ilan pa ang mga hindi kasing dark, medyo marami. Meron palang ibig sabihin yan. Few dark lines would indicate higher amount of astigmatism. Okay? Few dark lines, high amount of astigmatism. Pero kung halos lahat dark, konti lang yung hindi dark, ibig sabihin low amount of astigmatism. Bakit? Isipin nyo, pare-parehas yan, hindi ba? Kung iilan lang yung nag-i-stand out, marami pang linya ang hindi nag-i-stand out. So it would take you a lot of minus cylinder to even them all out. Kung halos lahat yan dark, kukunti lang yung hindi dark, small amount of astigmatism lang or small amount of cylinder lens lang ang kailangan mo para sila ay maging pare-parehas. Naintindihan ba ako? Naintindihan ako? Only a few lines ang dark. Ibig sabihin, marami ang hindi dark, maraming hindi black, maraming hindi clear. So, kailangan ko ng high amount of astigmatism or high amount of cylinder lens to even them all out. Okay? So, yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Now, in this case, medyo marami-rami pa yung ipapantay ko dito sa mga dark lines na to. Okay? So, na-identify mo na. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Yan yung mga nag-i-stand out. Now, punta na tayo dito sa rotating disc ninyo. Iikutin mo yan na kung saan yung arrowhead ay magpo-point doon sa gitna nung 5 yon. Okay? So, alin ang gitna? 180, 170, 160, 150, 140. Alin ang gitna? Rotate now the rotating disc and point the arrowhead dun sa gitna ng 5 yon. So, saan siya nakaturo? Saan siya nakaturo?
Kay 160 po.
Nakaturo siya sa 160. 160 represents your power meridian. And 90 degrees away from that is your axis. Okay? So, what's 90 degrees away from 150? 160. Uy, what's 90 degrees away from 160? Ibang Anisa.
70 po.
Okay. So now you have your axis, tentative axis. Kung phoropter head ang inyong gagamitin, remember, dun sa cylinder na part, hindi ba may dalawang knobs? The inner knob, i-rotate nyo siya sa 70. Sa 70. Okay? I-rotate nyo siya sa 70. Kung trial frame ang ginagamit ninyo, wala kang i-rotate. Tatandaan mo na lang, 70 ang axis ko. Mamaya, pag naglagay ako ng minus cylinder, I will make sure na yung marking ng minus cylinder ko nakatapat sa 70. Naintindihan ako? Naintindihan ako? Spaghetti. That's for dinner. Naintindihan ako? Okay, so na-identify ko na ngayon ang aking tentative axis. So kung nasa phoropter head ang gagamitin, i-rotate ko yung aking knob na pang-select ng axis at ipoposisyon ko siya sa 70. Kung yan naman ay trial frame, mamaya, tatandaan ko na lang 70 ang axis ko. Pag naglagay ako ng cylinder lens, itatapat ko yung markings ng cylinder lens ko doon sa 70. Okay. So, maliwanag? Are you following? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Okay. Now, ngayon, ito lang yung ginagawa kong example kasi malabo to. At least ito kita nyo yung direction ng mga meridians. Okay. Pagkatapos nun, pag nakaturo na sa 160 yung arrowhead, may arms ang arrowhead nyo, yung inverted V. Inverted V or arrowhead, parehas lang yan. Meron siyang right and left arm. Itatanong nyo sa patient, patient, tingnan mo yung arrowhead na yan. Pantay ba ang pagka-dark ng arrowhead na yan? Meron bang clear side? Meron bang blurred side? Pag sinabi ng patient, pantay naman sila, equally dark sila or equally clear sila. Ibig sabihin, tama yung iyong tentative axis of 70. Power meridian of 160. Okay? Ngayon, pag hindi parehas, yun ang problema. Kasi nakaturo siya sa 160, ang sabi ni patient, 160 kasi nandito ang 160. Di ba? 180 right, 0 left. Okay, nakaturo siya sa 160. Nakahiga yan. Syempre, hindi right and left yan. Up and down. Tama? So, ikukumpara po natin. Kasi ang sabi nyo, hindi parehas ang pagka-linaw or pagka-dark ng arms ng inverted V. Okay? Alin po dyan ang mas dark? Alin po dyan ang less dark? Or, kung sasabihin niya, hindi sila parehas ng clarity. Yung isa clear, yung isa blurred. Pag ganon ang response ng patient mo, magre-refer ka lagi sa blurred side or magre-refer ka lagi sa less clear or magre-refer ka parati sa less dark na arm. Okay? So pag sinabi niya, yung lower arm yung darker, yung upper arm ang less dark. So you would always turn 5 degrees towards the lesser. Okay? Kung less clear, less dark, less black, laging 5 degrees towards the lesser one. So kung sinabi niya, yung, kunyari, nakapoint dyan ang arrowhead sa 160, yung taas po ang less clear. O magte-turn ka 5 degrees towards blurred side or less clear side. So ano nang magiging power meridian mo ngayon? Ano na magiging power meridian? Bilisan nyo, oh. Ano na? 9:10 na. Sagot. Yes, Carl. What's your power meridian, Carl? Naku, ano ba? Magtaas ng kamay, tapos hindi magsasalita.
Sorry, the wrong button. Apologies. Could you please repeat what you said?
The
My
arrowhead
connection's-
is pointing at 160, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are following. Are you following, Carl?
Yes. Arrow's pointing at
So the
160.
arrowhead is pointing at 160. And then it is now time to ask the patient, are the arms of the arrowhead or the inverted V equally clear? If the patient says, no, they are not equally clear. Okay, which appears to be clearest and which appears to be less clear? Okay, if the patient says the lower arm appears to be clearest, the upper arm is less clear. So you would have to turn 5 degrees towards the less clear side. So this time, what's your power meridian? If you have to turn it 5 degrees towards the less clear side. Upper is less clear, lower
Okay.
is clearest.
155 degrees.
Okay, so it's gonna be 155 now. But that is your power meridian. That's not your axis. So what's going to be your axis? What's the axis of your correcting cylinder now?
65 degrees, ma'am.
It's gonna be 65. Okay. So that is how you would choose the tentative axis for as long as the arms are not equally clear. Okay? So you would always turn towards blurred side by 5 degrees. Okay? Okay? So we put it at 70 now. Kasi yun yung example natin. Is everyone following? 160 nakaturo, sabi ni patient, equally clear ang arms. So, 160 ang power meridian, therefore, ang axis ng correcting cylinder natin ay 70. Okay. Now, what is the next procedure? Refer to the square sets of lines. Okay? So, running yan vertical and horizontal. So, kumbaga, nakaikot yan na ganon. Yung square sets of lines na yan, natural. Hindi yan definitely pantay ang pagka-dark. Dahil the ones running parallel to your power meridian ay siyang mag-a-appear na darkest dyan. Sigurado ka. Okay? So, pag tinanong mo, are the square sets of lines equally clear? Patient would definitely answer no. Okay? So you tell me which one appears to be clearest or darkest. Patient would always tell you na yung nasa taas po. Kasi inikot mo yan, di ba? Paganahin nyo na lang yung imahinasyon nyo kasi wala akong Colebrook chart dito. Kung meron ako dati. Kaso may pinahiram ko, hindi na sinoli sa akin. Okay? So, natural, pag inikot mo yan, yung running parallel to your power meridian is your darkest now. Okay? Kasi ito yung running perpendicular to your parallel meridian. So, ito yon. So, anong gagawin mo? That is the time you would now add your minus cylinder. You start with minus 0.25 until such na yung square sets of lines mo maging equally dark na siya. Naintindihan? Naintindihan? Okay. Pero may ruling sa paglagay ng cylinder. Kasi as you are increasing, there should be a corresponding change to the spherical component. Okay? What am I talking about? So you now begin to add minus 0.25. Okay? What about now? Patient still reports, yun pa rin ang dark. Continue to add. Make that minus 0.50. But meron tayong change na gagawin. For every minus 0.50 increase in the cylinder amount, there should be a corresponding change to your spherical component. You would be increasing your spherical component by plus 0.25. So in fact, kung ang spherical component mo ay nasa minus 0.25, okay, minus 0.25 combined with minus 0.25 axis 70 minus 0.50 axis 70, nagdagdag ka na ng 50 dyan. That would mean a change in your spherical component. You would have to increase that by plus 0.25. So what happens to your minus 0.25? Yes, Mark. Okay, plano na yan. Plano na yan ngayon. Okay? Hindi pa rin daw pantay. So continue to add. Make that minus 0.75 axis 70 plano. Hindi pa rin. Minus 1 axis 70. Pero nagdagdag ka na ulit ng minus 0.50. What will happen to plano? Mark. Plus 0.25. Hindi pa rin daw. Hindi pa rin. O, di nag-increase ka. Ginawa mo minus 125. Axis 70. Plus 0.25 to. Sabi niya, ayan, pantay na. Parehas na silang dark. So, alam mo na sa minus 125, yun yung amount ng cylinder lens mo na nagpantay dun sa square sets of lines mo. Okay? Pero hindi pa ito ang tentative prescription mo dahil aalisin pa natin ang proper fog. Aalisin mo yung proper fog, 'di ba? Ang nandun sa phoropter head, I don't know if you're writing it down, it's plus 0.25 combined with minus 125 axis 70, right? So you subtract plus 0.50 kasi yun yung proper fog mo, aalisin mo yun. So that will make your prescription now what? What's going to be your tentative prescription? Anyone? Yes, Mark. Si Mark na lang ng si Mark. Akala ko ba si Mark tahimik naman? Ba't si Mark ang daldal mo yun? Oh. No? 70 nga yung axis natin. Okay. So, dahil inalis mo na ang proper fog mo na plus 0.50, ang magiging tentative prescription mo ay minus 0.25 combined with minus 125 axis 70. And then introduce now the chart. You let your patient read the chart. Okay? So most likely, dahil na-determine mo na ang cylinder component, mababasa niya na yung best line niya na 2020. Okay? Manalig tayo na yun ang mangyayari sa patient. Naintindihan? Naintindihan? Okay. O, yan ay kapag Colebrook chart ang inyong ginamit. Mas mahabang proseso ito. Okay? Pero ang meron kasing available, bakit nyo po tinuro kung hindi mo available yan? Hoy, pag tinanong kayo sa board exam, dapat alam nyo kung paano yan gamitin. Okay? Pero yung most common would be the astigmatic fan dial and the clock dial. Okay? So, paano po ito ginagamit? Paano po ito ginagawa? Okay. So, yung tentative sphere mo plus proper fog, sphere used to fog. I-introduce mo ang astigmatic fan dial. All you have to do is to ask your patient, are the spokes equally clear? Or are the lines equally clear? Or equally dark? Or equally black? If the patient says, no, they're not equally black. Okay? Or you tell me which appears to be darkest to you. It's the one on the middle. Okay? The one in the middle. And 3 more going to my left. So the one in the middle and 3 more going to my left. Oh, anong power meridian? So the one in the middle and 3 more going to my left. So that's going to be 90, 80, 70, and 60. What's my power meridian? Yes, Mike. Mike. Ano ba tong si Mike? Walang microphone? Jaden.
75 po.
75 po. So, isip bata. Okay, 75 ang power meridian. So therefore, anong axis, Jaden? Jaden. Anong axis? Power meridian mo yung ano? Power meridian mo.
165 po daw.
Ano ba sabi mo? 75?
Apa.
O, anong axis natin? 165. Okay? 165 ang axis. O, wala tayong rotating disc. Diba? Kasi astigmatic fan dial na lang to. Diretso na. I-determine na natin ang amount. By how? You start adding cylinder until all the spokes become equally dark. Pag equally dark na siya, stop ka, tanggalin ang proper fog, i-introduce ang chart, pabasahin si patient hanggang sa tignan mo kung kaya niyang achieve yung pinaka-ideal na best line dapat, which is 20/20. Okay? Pero while increasing the amount of cylinder, you have to observe the ruling that for every increase of minus 0.50, that would also correspond a change to your spherical component by plus 0.25, by adding plus 0.25. Is that clear? The quiz will open in 7 minutes. Do not or ignore the quiz, okay? As I am not done with the topic yet. Okay? Yan ang astigmatic fan dial. Paano po ginagamit ang clock dial? Sa clock dial, ganito siya. Kapag meron ka ng tentative sphere, mag-a-add ka ng proper fog, i-present mo yung clock dial. So sphere used to fog yung nakalagay na ngayon. Ang tatanungin mo lamang sa pasyente ay, bakit clock? It represents the clock, di ba? Okay, ang tanging mo lang itatanong sa pasyente, are the arms of the clock equally clear or equally dark or equally black? If the patient says, no, they are not equally dark. Okay, can you tell me which among the arms are standing out? Patient says, by position to ha, clock position. 12 o'clock position, 1 o'clock position, so on and so forth. Okay? Pag sinabi ng pasyente, Yung nasa alas 10 po ang dark. O syempre, pag alas 10 ang dark, natural. Ang karugtong ng 10 ay 4. Kasi iisang linya lang yan. Kung pag sinabi niya ito ang dark, dark din ito. Naintindihan? Naintindihan? Okay. So you now have 10 and 4. To determine the axis, choose the least amount between the two. 10 and 4, ano ang least? Di ba? 4. I-multiply mo lang yung least na amount sa 30, yun ang magiging axis mo. So 4 times 30 is how much? 120. So ang magiging axis ng correcting cylinder mo ay 120. And then all you have to do is to increase the cylinder amount until ma-equalize lahat yung arms na yan. Magiging equally dark na silang lahat. And then do not forget to observe the ruling na for every 50 change in the cylinder component, there should be a corresponding change to your spherical component as well. You would have to add plus 0.25 to your spherical component. Okay? Until such that all the arms are now equally dark, remove the proper fog, introduce now the chart again, let your patient read his best line. Naintindihan? O, another example. Halimbawa, ang nire-report ni patient ay, ang pinaka-dark po sa akin ay yung 1 and 2. O natural, ang 1 all the way to 7 yan. Minsan kasi ang pasyente, nakikita lang yung taas, hindi naman niya napapansin yung ilalim. Pero pag sinabi niya 1 and 2, ang corresponding ng 1 ay 7. Ang corresponding sa 2 ay 8 on the other side. O, paano to? 1 and 2, 8 and 7. O, ano yung pinakamaliit? Ano yung pinakamaliit? Mark. 1 ang pinakamaliit. Pero, gitna ba ang 1? Okay, so 1.5. Anong nasa kabila? 7.5. 1.5 tsaka 7.5, alin ang pinakamaliit? Di 1.5 times 30. So yung axis mo ay 45. Okay? O, tapos i-even out mo lang ito by adding cylinder lenses hanggang siya ay maging equally dark lahat. Okay? And then do not forget the ruling. Do you understand? Okay. Naintindihan lahat? Okay. So, I will be, tignan ko lang ha, magtatawag ako. Tignan ko lang kung naintindihan. Okay. Can you work on this? Kahit yung number 1 example lang. Ito lang. Gusto nyo picturean pati yung ito, pero ito lang muna ang gawin natin. O, sinong gusto mag-volunteer? Anyone? Sinong gusto mag-volunteer? I-step by step natin. 3 question lang naman yan. 3 questions lang. 1 to 3 lang. O, sige, Zachary. Carl. You wanna try, Carl? Number 1.
One. Okay.
So you have your
So-
tentative sphere, right? Tentative sphere.
Yes.
So what's on top of your tentative sphere?
cylinder lens.
No, 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 no.
Oh, sorry.
Diba, tentative sphere plus your proper fog. Oh, instructions given. Astigmatic fan chart presented. What would be your lens in place now? When you introduce your astigmatic chart, your tentative sphere plus your proper fog should already be in place. So what is it going to be? Number 1 pa lang tayo, Zap. Ay, Carl. Ano ba tong batang to?
Minus,
Ilan?
minus, sorry.
O sige, let me see another. Jaden.
+2 po.
Jaden. Saan mo nakuha yung pangalan mong Jaden? Ikaw ba ay anak ni Gio Ong? Kilala mo si Gio Ong?
Opo.
Oh, Jaden din ang pangalan ng anak niya, hindi ba? O ano na, Jaden? At wala kang camera, Jaden.
+2 po, Doc.
Asan ang camera mo, Jaden?
Dilim po kasi.
Madilim. Madilim, maliwanag nga eh. Hindi ka nga lang nakaputi, naka-blue ka, Jaden.
Opo.
O, +2. Tama, +2. Okay? O, Jaden, ikaw pa rin. Buksan mo yung camera mo, Jaden. Okay. So, na-identify mo na, o, meron ka ng lens in place, +2. Ngayon, i-identify natin kung anong axis. Sabi niya, ang pinaka-dark daw sa kanya, yung from his right, okay, so starting from the bottom, and 5 more going up. So, right yan. O, ano ang magiging power meridian mo?
Ano, Doc? 150. Ay. Opo, 155.
Ang power meridian. Pero hindi kasi power meridian ang ating hinahanap. Axis ang ating hinahanap. So, ano ang tentative axis natin?
65 po.
65. Tama, 65. Okay? So, may +2 ka na. Alam mo na ngayon kung ano ang tentative axis mo, 65. Okay? Ngayon, ang number 3 na tanong ay tentative prescription na. So, i-equalize mo yon, tama? By adding minus cylinder lens. Nagkaroon ng equality dun sa 5th addition ng minus cylinder. So, ilan ang 5th addition?
Ano, Doc? 125.
125. Okay, 125. Pero, ilang 50 ang dinagdag mo kasi magpapalit ka dun sa sphere mo. Sige, gawin mo. Hintayin ko yung sagot mo. Bakit may keyboard ka? Ba't tumutunog yung keyboard mo?
Ay, yung ano po yun? Yung kama po.
Nakahiga ka sa malaking keyboard.
Ay, hindi.
O sige. Ano, Jaden?
Plus ano po, Doc? 50.
Oh.
Ay.
Ano pa ba may
Sige.
+2 ka eh? Sa umpisa may +2 ka. Oh.
250 po.
250. Kumpletuhin natin, Jaden.
Plus 250 combined minus 125 axis 65.
Okay, yan yung nasa phoropter head. Di ba? Pero may tatanggalin tayo. Tama?
Opo.
Yung proper fog. So ano magiging tentative prescription natin?
+2 po. +2 combined minus 125 axis 65.
Okay, and then you now introduce again the chart. You let your patient read. Okay? Kasi most likely, may improvement na yan ng VA. Okay? So, ganun po lamang ang fogging, unfogging, and determination of cylinder axis and amount. Okay? Tatlo pa lang yan. Kasi, if-finalize pa natin. Okay? So, ulitin ko lamang. Kapag nag-fog, nag-unfog, at nag-2020 during unfogging, pwede ka nang dumiretso sa duchrome. Okay? Wala nang determination of cylinder axis and amount kasi nag-2020 na yung patient. So, duchrome ka na. Kaya lang, kapag during unfogging at hindi nag-2020 yung pasyente, kailangan mong i-determine ang cylinder component niya. Okay? So, uunahin ang pag-determine ng cylinder axis bago ang amount. Naintindihan ba? Give me a thumbs up kung naintindihan. Yes, Zach.
Doc, bale, so after this po, magduduochrome pa.
Wala pa. Wala pa. Hindi pa. Meron pa tayo. If finalize pa natin ang cylinder axis, cylinder amount.
May isang step pa. Pero after nun,
Wala pa. Kahit nag-2020 yan sa tentative prescription, hindi pa tapos. Mahaba pa ang proseso.
pero kapag sphere lang po siya, edi diretso na sa duochrome.
Pag sa sphere at nag-2020 at clear naman ang 2020,
Apo.
walang shadowing of letters, walang mukhang nagdodoble ang letters, then you are fine. You do duchrome at once. Okay?
Okay po.
Okay. May ibang tanong? May tanong? Yes, Zach.
Doc, pa-clarify nga lang po ulit kung ano po yung difference ni tentative axis at saka si power meridian po.
Ano ulit yan?
Yung tentative axis at saka power meridian, ano po difference nila ulit?
Si power meridian, yan yung mga lines na nag-i-stand out. Yan yung isang focus mo na malapit sa retina, kaya mas darker yung nakikita niya sa ibang lines. Yung isa, malayo sa retina yon, kaya less dark siya. Yun yung gusto nating habulin. Okay? So, hindi tayo magre-refer sa power meridian. Ire-refer natin yung kabaligtaran or yung opposite niya, which is 90 degrees away from the power meridian. Yun yung magiging basehan ng axis ng correcting cylinder mo.
Bale, Doc, so ang rene-report ng patient is yung power meridian.
Yes, power meridian. Pero ang nilalagay mo sa phoropter head or yung iniisip mo na magiging orientation ng marking ng cylinder lens mo, kung trial case yung ginagamit mo, yung axis ng correcting cylinder. Nasagot ko?
Yes po, opo. Sorry.
Okay, may tanong pa? Wala? Okay, ito ang magiging siste. Would you like to have the quiz now or would you like to have the quiz next week? Pero ang quiz nyo, tatlo. Yung introduction, yung fogging and fogging bichrome, tsaka itong determination of the cylinder axis and amount. Would you like to have the first quiz now? Or would you like to have it next week? Kung next week yan, tatlo ang quiz nyo. Introduction to subjective refraction, fogging and fogging bichrome, and then cylinder. Walang sumasagot.
Dok,
na
sa
ba?
amin po, ngayon na po.
Ngayon na ang first quiz. Next week, dalawa ang quizzes ninyo. Okay? O, aayusin ko lang yung oras. Antay lang kayo. Okay? Aayusin ko lang yung oras. Meron na bang nag-quiz? Meron na nag-take ng quiz? Attendance natin, Aliyah and Raven. Kumpleto?
May dalawang absent po.
Sino?
Si Caryaso at Repaso.
Okay, Caryaso and Repaso. Section ano yan, no? D?
Yes po.
Okay. So, dapat wala silang quiz ngayon.
Sa Sirin po, dalawa rin po.
Okay, sige. Raven, sino? Ay... Oh, tama, Raven. Raven, di ba?
Ayan po. Ano po si Nazareno po at saka po si De Guzman.
Okay. I-send sa akin yan kasi baka mamaya, of course, kasi online tayo, makakapag-quiz sila kahit wala sila sa klase, pero hindi ko i-credit, ha? Pakisabi. Palitan ko lang yung oras. What time is it now? It's 9:41, right?
Yes, Doc.
Wait lang. October 30 ngayon. Okay. Pakitignan. Ano nakalagay sa inyo? 9:45? Okay. The quiz will only run for 12 minutes. Okay? Stay on. Stay on. Hindi kayo lalabas sa meet.
Doc, Nazareno po present po. Sorry po, Doc.
Oh, ngayon ka lang pumasok, Iya?
Actually, nawala po ako sa ano po, sa
Saan?
yung wifi ko po, Doc.
Anong oras ka nag-check ng attendance, Raven?
Chine-check ko po siya from time to time.
Oh. Sa unang attendance, nandyan na ba si Miss Nazareno?
Wala po.
Oh, anong oras ka pumasok, Miss Nazareno? Ay, baka kararating mo lang, Miss Nazareno, ha? Miss Nazareno,
Yes po, Doc.
kararating mo lang sa meet?
Yes po, Doc.
Naku, Iya. Makakakuha ka ng quiz pero babawasan ko yung score mo. Hindi po pwede yung ganyan. Kawawa yung iba. Nasa meet sila ng nasa oras tapos ikaw papasok ka lang kung kailan magto-quiz. E paano kaya kung hindi ko i-credit yung ano mo, yung quiz mo? Huwag yung gagawin yan sa akin. online tayo. Maghihigpit talaga ako. Kaya pinapacheck ko yung attendance.